Enough type training for therapy. Hook this together, and you can just create simple little movement worlds, for people to train for peanut type loads. And you can also do things where they're working, off center like that. So you don't have to work always in a vertical plane or horizontal plane. You can work vertically, upside down, diagonally, horizontally, come into the machine, etc. The only limit to the machine, as Jeff Livingston was saying earlier, is your imagination. It truly is, and your training background, how you want to apply it for physical therapy, rehab, post-op. And if you see in the demo video, it's also wheelchair accessible. So because it's the only accessible functional trainer in the world, Uncle Sam graciously gives you back a $5,000 tax credit. So he pays for about half of the machine, a $5,000 tax credit. So that's pretty phenomenal because it's wheelchair accessible, and we want to try to have facilities that provide places for people in wheelchairs to go to, because there really is literally almost no places out there that help the handicapped provide equipment like this for them to train.
This is another one that I like to do. So, again, I like working a lot of core movements. So I do a lot of martial arts and those types of things because I was a gymnast originally, so that's kind of where my background comes from. But if you're working with someone with a stick or something, like a bow, you can do jammers, those kind of things. You can do abs. You go side to side. If you want to, let's say you have a kayaker, you do this kind of movement. A rower, that kind of thing. So I mean, like you said, the sky is definitely the limit. And your creativity, whatever you come up with, this machine can do.
I'm going to show you one more move we were working on a little earlier with the gentleman here. It's Muay Thai. Muay Thai kick. We strap the thigh band.
What are we doing? I can do it.
Come over here. We strap this back up. Over here. All right. Now Muay Thai, you're bringing your knee up like that for striking. Okay. Now the other dimension of a Muay Thai movement is you're pulling the head down of your opponent at the same time. So what we want to do, because we have the ability that all these cables are interactive, you can do dual cable at the same time. So what Kevin's going to do, he's going to heavy load this side. He's going to work on pull the person's head down while he brings the knee up. Okay? So position yourself. He's got slippery pants, so you want to have that on your skin. You get the idea for the Muay Thai training. You can train straight forward, bring it around to the side, etc., etc. Great for core, great for fighters. Tim Sylvia of the UFC, he trains. Matt Hughes trains. The Military Center has it. Lloyd Irvin's group has it, where Brendan Vera is being trained on it. And these guys are not sharing their training programs because their fighters are doing too well, so they're not really letting out their secrets. But what they do is they create 5-minute matches against the machine, and because the fights are 5-minute rounds, so they'll come in and they'll do say a round of boxing, cross, where they'll load the bands back here, do the ground based, and they'll fight for maybe 60 seconds, and they'll drop that, and they'll come over, and they'll work on things like throws and tosses, for 30 seconds through. Then they'll work on things like, they're crushing grips, coming in, pulling back and forth, and they'll fight the machine literally for 5 minutes in pre-described routines, and they'll do a lot of, let's say, 60 seconds of Muay Thai here and there. So when it translates out into the fight, they don't run out of energy. I mean, they have trained against this with strength and cardio combined, just like in a real fight environment, and building your strength and power and ballistic speeds for that specific sports movement. So the fighters that are being trained on this, the boxers, the fighters, the football players, the athletes, the sports results have been fantastic. Reduction in injuries, because you're building all the stabilizer muscles, and ballistic speed movement for power. The other athletes that don't train this way, they're getting decimated, if you're also skill level as you. So I think that's pretty much wraps it up. I think we're done. Any other questions? Like Shay, you have a question? Go ahead.
Well, in your gym, do you just have one of these?
I do, yeah. But we have a small studio.
No, well, that's what my question is, though. When people come to work on it, they just work out with a trainer, or do they have times that they can come in and work on it when the trainer's not there? Or how do they take what they learned on this back to their gym, or to work out if they can't pay for a trainer, 5 days a week or whatever? How do they take this and take it somewhere else?
Basically, any health club quality machine that you can find, this machine can mimic.
Okay.
So in my studio, like when we're doing like a rope push down, they have that in a gym, and so I'll tell my clients that.
Okay.
Like, this is what this looks like, this is what our pull downs look like, this is what you're going to do in a squat, and we'll show them that and mimic it on the Vortex.
Okay.
As far as our studio, they just work with us one-on-one, and they go to their respective gyms. That's kind of what our clientele is made up of, is just people who already go to gyms but come to us for training.
Right.
So,
but you don't have any problem with that, where you show them some really fancy move on that machine, and they're going, "Wow, this is so cool! Well, how am I going to do it if I don't have a Vortex?"
Well, part of that is you are running a business. You're trying to sell a service that's unique to your place.
Right.
So the idea is this is a personal training format where you want them to come and spend dollars for what you have that they can't find in another gym.
Right. But you only have so many hours in a day, and they might want to get in with you, but they can't. I guess then when you buy another Vortex, right?
You can't give them a basic workout to say, here's what you can do at the gym, but you want to come here and train on this to fill up all the gaps that you can't get.
Right.
That's what you're there to do. That's what the Vortex also does. You can do all the standard and then limitless, creative, imaginative routines. It's just what you can't get elsewhere.
Yeah. Okay.
Any other questions? No? Thank you very much. Thanks, Gavin. Great job.